Hi everyone, welcome back to Mr. Gard's maths class. Today we're going to be looking at multiplication and division of integers. Remembering that an integer is a whole number, so not a decimal or a fraction. Now I've included some important notes here, and today's lesson is going to be really important and fundamental to our understanding of multiplying positive and negative integers. So we know that multiplication is repeated addition. An example in green here is if I have 4 times positive 3. Now positive 3 is just the number 3, remember. If I have 4 lots of 3, we know the answer is going to be 12. Because that's the same as saying 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12. So 4 times, or 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. All numbers have a positive or a negative symbol in front of them. We just don't normally include a positive symbol. So an example here, where I've written the number 4, we don't bother writing positive 4 because we just assume that all numbers are positive unless we say otherwise. Unlike negative numbers. So I might have 4 lots of negative 3. And that's the situation here. So I have 4 multiplied by negative 3. That means I have 4 of them. I have a negative 3 plus to another negative 3 plus another negative 3 plus another negative 3. And I'm going to end up with negative 12. So I've got negative 3. If I take away another 3, which is what a negative 3 is, it's taking away 3, I end up going down, down, down. It's as if you owed someone $3, then you owed them another $3, another $3, another $3. You would ultimately owe them $12 in total. Now there's a golden rule, and these are the ones over here. When we multiply a positive and a positive, we always get a positive number. That's something that we've done for a long time. When we multiply a positive number multiplied by a negative number, we are always going to get a negative value. Okay, that's something that's really important to remember. If we multiply a positive number with a negative number, we always get a negative number. Now, according to our commutative law, that's the one where it doesn't matter which way round you put the problem. An example here is negative 3 multiplied by 4. That's the same as what we had up here, but just written around the other way. So that's the same as saying, well, we could write it out the same way. Or that would probably be the best way. Negative 3 plus negative 3. We put it in brackets just to make it clear that the positives and negatives aren't getting in the way of one another. Negative 3 plus negative 3. That still equals negative 12, which is obviously a negative value. So a negative multiplied by a positive also gives you a negative. Now here's where it gets tricky. If we have, and this is one where it's harder to write it out. If you have negative 3 multiplied by negative 3, negative 3 times negative 3. It is not easy to write out this scenario because it takes a little bit of flipping your head around in the way that you think about it. And what we actually end up with, because if this was positive 3 multiplied by negative 3, we would get negative 9. But we've got another negative involved, which makes it positive 9. Now it is a little bit tricky to understand that one, and we can go through it a little bit later. But ultimately, when these are our golden rules that we need to abide by. Positive times a positive is a positive. Positive times a negative, negative. Negative times a positive is a negative, and a negative times a negative is a positive. This is probably the hardest one, at least in terms of explaining, but these three should be pretty straightforward. The slight alternate comes if we have if we multiply by another thing. So if we have a negative multiplied by a positive multiplied by a negative value, we can break it down. So a negative times a positive is negative, and we're still multiplying it by this negative here, which means our overall answer is a positive value. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for listening and enjoy.